All right, everyone. So if you had to leave the Bitmoji Classroom tutorial early, or if you were not able to come, I'm going to do a very quick version of it. You can speed this up double time, pause it at any time you need to. I'm not going to go into super great detail, but this will at least get you set up. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to Chrome. And if you do not have this little Bitmoji extension, you're going to need to Google Bitmoji extension. And it says Bitmoji Google Chrome. And then yours should say add to Chrome. That's what you would need to click and make sure it downloads. It's very important that that Bitmoji account is not connected to Snapchat, because if it is, you will not be able to use it in the school because the school blocks Snapchat. So if you don't want to use Bitmojis in your Bitmoji classroom and you just want to have a virtual classroom that you can click in, that's totally cool. But if you want a Bitmoji in there, this is going to be the easiest way to do it. So once you add it to your Chrome, you can leave that and you will see this little icon up here, and your Bitmojis, once you sign into your account with your email, you have access to all your Bitmojis right here. So that's going to be useful for us. Here is what my Bitmoji classroom looks like right now. It's interactive. You can click on these posters. I have buttons down here that are quick links to different things. I'm playing around with my Zoom help that Sandy has scheduled us in. So like if you click here, it'll take you directly to that Zoom meeting every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. So this is where I plan on putting my objectives for the day, a list of things that need to happen that day for the kids. So this would be like what I would write on my whiteboard anyway. It's going to be easy for them to see, and then they won't have to click through as many folders all the time. And then I also have a video attached here showing them how to use it. So I'm going to show you how to make this an announcement like it is in my sandbox, where it's really big in your face, and that's the first thing that kids see. And then we'll also add a page down here that says to use only with the Schoology mobile app. When they are using the mobile app, they are not able to see these announcements that are like this with a page embedded. So it's important that you add a little page that they can click to with the mobile app so that they can see it if they use it on their phone. Okay, so if you've never done a Google Drawing before, we're going to go to Google. We're going to type in Google Drawings. And then this should pop up. Go ahead and click that. And then what I want you to make sure you have done is over here, you can tell what account you're signed in with. So I'm signed in with my district account. Make sure that that is true for you too, otherwise you're going to have to do it over again. I also want you to go here to share. Currently it's private. I need to title it first, so I'm just going to title it My Bitmoji Classroom. Save. And down here with the sharing restrictions, it's currently only to people with the link in District 70. I would like you to click that and to click anyone with the link. Okay, and then go ahead and hit done. That means that anybody with the link can see it. If you don't do that, your kids might not be able to see it when it's in Schoology because they don't have permission. So the first thing we're going to do is set a background. The easiest way to do that is to go over here to Insert Image, search the web, and I just search wall and floor. So there's lots of options, wall and floor background. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to pick this brick wall right here. I'm going to drag it over. I'm going to put it in the corner here, and I'm just going to make this bigger. Now I do want some room for my buttons down here, so I'm going to scrunch this up a little bit so that I have room for my buttons. Okay, now we need to add some images. So let's say that I want to have a whiteboard. So I'm going to come back over here. And a key word that you want to use is transparent in front of whatever you're searching. And that makes sure that it's a transparent image that doesn't have a white border background. So that way they layer really nicely. So here's my whiteboard. I'm going to shrink it up a little bit. I'm going to put it here and center it. Now let's say that I want a bookcase, so I'm going to leave the word transparent. I'm going to go ahead and put bookcase. let's say that I like this one, so I'm going to drag it over, let it load. I'm going to shrink it up a little bit, maybe make it a little bit skinnier. I'm going to move my whiteboard over, and I'm going to have it sitting on the ground. Okay, and you can look up anything. You can do an area rug, right? You can drop that in there. Okay. So something helpful I would say when you're doing this is you see all this huge blank white space. I would crop that out, because when you have a lot of images in your classroom and you are trying to click a little tiny picture and you have all these borders that are meshing over each other, it can get very frustrating to get what you're trying to click. So I highly recommend cropping them down a little bit so that there's not so much blank space around it. Okay, I'm not going to do all of it, but you can add stuff on your bookshelf. Like if you look at mine, I went to Google and I found the Vineland Middle School Pirate. I took the Khan Academy logo, Prodigy Math, Math Antics, lots of things that you can take just from a Google image search, save them to your desktop, and then you can put them into your drawing. Like, so for example, I have the little pirate image is saved right here to my desktop, so I'm just going to drag that onto here, and I'm going to shrink it up. I'm going to put it on my bookshelf so it's part of my bookshelf stuff. Okay. Now, if you want to link this, like mine is currently, if they click on this, it takes them to the Vineland Middle School website. So if you want to have that, anytime you want to link to a website, you would click the image that you want to link, hit this little link button, and then you can either copy and paste the URL, or if you know it, you can just type it in and apply. So now, when they click this, it's going to take them to the Vineland Middle School website. Okay, add in whatever you want. And then if you want your Bitmoji on here, you can go ahead and just go to your little Bitmoji icon that we downloaded. You can type in some keywords like point, and that'll bring up some ones that are of your Bitmoji pointing. And you can make it however big you want and make them do whatever you want. And there you go. Now, I will say as a tip, there is a website that you can go to where she has put in a lot of work to make these free backgrounds, and then you can just edit it to whatever you want. Okay? So that website is linktree.bitmoji.becca. So right here, if you type in this exact thing, she has all these themes. So if I click on one, for example, and I make a copy, so she has put in the work and made all these different backgrounds and classroom themes that you can just take from for free, and then you can add in whatever you want. So while it's loading, you can see that she's in this one in particular, she did a Star Wars one, pineapple penguins, a horse ranch western one, ocean, tacos. So if you don't want to put in the work to making your Bitmoji classroom, you could click one of hers, and they are awesome. They're very cool. So let's say I wanted this pineapple one. What you're going to do, because we don't want to do this in Google Slides, we want to do it in Google Draw. You're going to just drag over. Let me do that again. You're going to drag over this entire slide, and you'll notice that it will highlight everything. Maybe. Okay, so you see how everything's highlighted? I'm going to hit Command-C to copy. Okay, and then let's say that that's what I wanted to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and start back with a blank one. So I'm here, I'm going to hit Command V or paste, and all of that background and everything is just going to copy right in here nicely, and I can just drop my Bitmoji back into here, and you don't have to go through the work of making everything yourself. So if that's something that interests you, again, go to that website. You can just use whatever you want. Okay, so you have your Bitmoji, you know how to link. You could also link to docs and any other slide presentations. So for example, this is my online learning expectation. So if I want to link this to something, you're going to go up to share again, just like we did with your drawing. You're going to make sure that you have selected the one that says anyone on the internet with this link can view. You're going to select copy link. Okay. You're going to go back to your classroom. Let's say that I want to link it to this little thing in this bookcase. I'm going to click that. I'm going to hit link, and I'm going to paste that in there just like that. And now when they click this, it's going to open my online learning expectations. Okay, so any Google Doc, Google Slides, anything that you want kids to be able to open and view, you need to do the sharing to anyone with this link can view. Okay, you can add my little thing back in here. Maybe I'm going to put him back on the bookcase. A little tip, if you see like I moved him over there and he's hiding behind there, if you right click and hit order and bring to front, it will come back to the front of your screen because all these images are layered, so sometimes you have to send them forward or backwards so that you can see them again. Okay, so once you have this done, if you want to add a button, so like in mine, I have these buttons down here, okay? The easiest way to do that is to go to Google Slides. So you can go to Google Slides like from your email or from this Google Drive. You can go to your waffle and select Google Slides. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make a blank one, and I'm going to title this buttons example. Okay, you might title yours button design, whatever you want. We're going to delete these text boxes. And so buttons work better if they're square instead of being rectangle. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to File, Page Setup, and you really just need it to be a square. So I'm here, I select Custom, and I found that 125 by 125, you can leave it in inches. It works just fine. So now if you notice, it's square. Okay, to change your background, go to background. You can either choose an image if you want like a picture in the background, or you could just change the color. You can select from these, or you can go to custom and do that. Something that I showed in the tutorial just real quick is if you don't like any of these colors and there's a specific color you want, you can actually type in the direct color code. So some ideas is if you go to colors.lol, they have all these color combinations that go together nicely. Okay, so let's say that I like this color combination and I want the background to be this attractive Barbie pink. I'm going to copy the color code. I'm going to go back here to custom color, and I'm going to paste that color code in, and look, now my background is that specific pink that I wanted, and it's right there. Let's say that I want my button to have a circle in the middle like mine do. I'm going to make my circle. Okay, if I want to change the color of the circle, I'm going to click this paint, this fill color. Same thing, I can go to custom. And if I go back to my colors LOL, maybe I want the circle to be this blue color. So I'm going to highlight and copy or Command C that color combination, and I'm going to paste it right there. And now my circle is that color. Okay, if I want some words, I'm going to go to Insert, Word Art. Maybe I want the button to say this week. Okay, it's super tiny. You're going to need to expand that. Okay, it's right here. Again, if you want to change the color, you go to fill color, either choose from here or choose custom. I'm just going to choose this yellow. Okay, now if I want all my buttons to look like this, but I just want to change the color and the words, all you have to do is right click, duplicate slide, and now you have a new one, and I can just change that background color to something else. I can change this circle to a different color. I can change the words to, let's say, next week. Okay. Again, duplicate if you want, make all your buttons. Now, I'm going to click on the slide that I want to save the button. I'm going to go to File, Download as a JPEG. Okay. They're going to pop up down here, and they're going to be in your downloads. I'm going to, again, click the next one, File, Download, JPEG. Now, since they have the same name, I'm actually going to click on these, and I'm just going to change this name to This Week Button so I can find it. And I'm actually going to move it to my desktop for now so that it's easy to find. Okay, I'm going to replace that. Same thing on this one. I'm going to click it. I'm going to change it to Next Week Button. I'm going to change it to my desktop, and I'm going to hit enter. And now those buttons are saved right here on my desktop, as you can see. Okay, you'll want to delete those later. You don't want to gum up your desktop, but they're easy to find while you are making this. Okay? So now we're going to go back to our drawing once we have all our buttons. And in this space down here, what you're going to do is say Insert Table. Let's say I have 6 buttons. However many buttons you have is how long you want this table to be. Just one row, that many columns. So now I have this table. Once you drag it down, you're going to put it there in that blank space, and you're just going to fill up that blank space with that table. And what that's going to do for you is help them be spaced exactly the same width apart for your buttons. Okay, I'm going to shrink this up a little bit. I'm going to just start dragging my buttons and putting them in to my table. So I'm going to shrink this up. I'm going to kind of get it there in that table so I can kind of see the width. Okay, I see that I have a little bit of room there. You could expand it out, it might make it a little less square. But then, I mean, play around with it, make it exactly how you want. But now they'll all be spaced apart in the same size. You could also find that, maybe I don't want my buttons this big, so you could take that off. You could shrink your table down a little bit. And then you could just highlight all of this. And you can just drag it down and make everything a little bit bigger. Whatever you want. Okay? Now if you notice on my Bitmoji classroom, I'm just seeing now that this background is still that checkered pattern. So what that means is that some layering issue happened with the copy and paste, which is okay. All you would do is do what we did before and just look for whatever background you wanted. And you would just drag that over, make it the size that you want. You want it this size, I don't know, you'll have to decide for yourself. So cover it all up and then right click, order, and just send to back. And now it's the background of my classroom. So if that happens to you and you have that checkered, all you gotta do is drag that background that you want, right click, and send it to the back. Okay? Make your buttons as big as you want. You can adjust that table. You can adjust the size of these buttons, whatever you want. Get those all lined up. You can link these just like we showed before. So you click them, click link, type in the link here, whether it's a doc or a website or whatever you want it to be. Okay, now comes putting it into your Schoology classroom. So when And the nice thing is that you don't have to finish it before you put it in your Schoology, because every time you make an edit on this drawing, it's going to automatically change it in Schoology, so you never have to embed it again. Okay? This is a twofold process. So the first thing we're going to do is make that landing page for the kids that are in the app. So you do need to be in Firefox for this. So go to Firefox. You're going to go to Materials, and you're going to go Add Materials. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But yours probably looks more like this. So you're going to hit Add Materials. You're going to add a page. Okay, type it something like Our Classroom Use Only with Schoology Mobile App. Okay. Now, I already have a duplicate of this, so I'm just going to put I'm going to put practice at the end of it, so I know that this is my practice one. You're going to go up here to Insert Content, Google Drive Resource App, and you're going to find your drawing. Okay, so mine's right at the top. If it's not right at the top, you can come up here and start typing it, and hit Enter, and it'll come up. Okay, so here it is. You're going to import, embed. Okay, then you're going to click on it so it's highlighted. You're going to click this little picture. And because we want it a little bit bigger, we're going to change the dimensions to about 900 by 500. It's going to auto to 506. That's fine. Leave everything the same. Hit Insert. And when you hover over this little button, you want it to say Display on New Page. So don't click that. Make sure it says Display on New Page. Go ahead and create. Whenever you create a page, it's going to be at the bottom. So if you want to drag it to be up at the top, you just drag it to wherever you want. Okay? So when they are in the mobile app, that's where they will go in order to see your Bitmoji Classroom. The announcements with the Bitmoji Classroom don't show on the app, so this is something that they will use only if they're in the app. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I already have one. I just wanted to show you how to do that. Now, to do the announcement, you're going to go to Updates. Okay? I'm going to get rid of mine so I can show you how to do it. So in Updates, you're here. Now you're going to go down here to click Resource, click Apps, Google Drive by Resource app. Again, you can either search for it, or if it's right there visible, you can click it. I'm actually going to do my real one, not my practice one, so that it's there. So mine's called 7th Grade Bitmoji Classroom Draw. I'm going to click the checkbox, and again, import embed. Now don't click anything else. Don't hit post yet. Right here, I want you to click that bell. What that's going to do is this makes this update an announcement, and it's going to be the first thing they see. If you want to copy this Bitmoji Classroom to every single one of your classes, then you're going to want to click this clipboard and click whatever classes you want it to copy to. It's important that you do that now instead of afterwards. Okay, so again, bell, copy if you want it to. Okay. Now, you're going to hover over this Bitmoji Classroom that's showing up in your little box now. This is why it's important that you're in Firefox, is because this only works in Firefox. You're going to right-click. You're going to click Inspect Element. Okay, I know this looks intimidating because it's HTML code, but you're going to go to the Search HTML. You're going to type in the word iframe. You're going to hit Enter. If you notice, there is 8 pieces of the code that have the word iframe in it. We want the one that has a Google Doc attached. So if you look in this blue space, nothing about this says a Google Doc. Okay, so I'm going to hit Enter again. Again, nothing about Google Doc. Enter again. Still nothing about a Google Doc. Enter again. This is definitely not a Google Doc. Enter again. Still not a Google Doc. Okay, now we're at one that says docs.google.com, and it has that link to the Google drawing. This is the one you want. You're going to double click the width where it says 560 or whatever yours says, and you're going to type in 900. You're going to take the height, double click it, type in 500. Okay? You don't have to do anything else at that point. Go ahead and hit post. You can go ahead and exit out of the inspect element right over here. And now when they go to your classroom, this is what they see. And it is this very big Google Classroom right in their face. And that is where they're going to see everything. So they're going to see their announcements for the day on the whiteboard, just like in your classroom. You can put anything here. Right now I'm playing around with this little easel where I have my Zoom help. So those Zooms that are every week, mine are on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 10. If they click that, it's going to take them to that Zoom meeting. Okay, I don't want to do that right now, but that's what that is. All of these buttons, they take you to my online learning expectations. They take you to Khan Academy's website. They take you to learn about Albert Einstein. This one, if I click it, is a video of me showing them how to use this Google Classroom. So you can make anything clickable, anything linkable. You can move this around, and I just want to show you how easy this is. So when I go back to my drawing, okay, I'm going to go to my actual one so you can see. So here's my drawing. I'm going to show you how it really does change whenever you do something. I'm just going to drop this picture of a tree right in the center of it so you can see it. Okay, just this giant picture. I'm just going to shrink it up so it's not taking up so much room. I'm going to put it right in the middle of my page. I'm going to hit enter so that it loads. When I go back to my Schoology and I refresh my page, it just changed. So whatever you do in this drawing is automatically going to update it. So you don't have to embed, you don't have to do that HTML code again. You don't have to do any of that as long as it's still part of this. If you make a new drawing, then you will have to re-embed it and do everything like that. But again, that's just a quick tutorial. I'm happy to help, but let me know if you have any questions. I think that these are very cool and interactive and like a cool place for kids to see immediate things and make it feel a little more personal. Okay? Thank you so much, guys.